Hi, the topic of this video is arithmetic operations, and we've already covered arithmetic operations in the previous video. So all the concepts and all the commands that we need for this one, we've already covered them, and it should be really quick and easy video this time. So what do they want us to do? A mathematical expression containing those symbols like plus, minus, and parentheses will be provided. Now they're giving us some text, and this text represents some mathematical operation. For example, 3 plus 5, and maybe some parentheses around it. This is our input, and now they want us to read in the expression, then evaluate it. So for this mathematical input, we have to do some calculations and display the correct result, rounded to 3 decimal places. Okay, we've already covered this stuff, and we know that Bash is not really a good tool for doing anything related to math if we want to do it directly inside Bash, and especially we can't do anything with floating point numbers, so we have to delegate this task to some external tool that we can call from Bash. And the standard way to do it is to use a tool called BC. We showed already how it works, but we will just right now refresh our memory a bit and try to come up with correct solution for this problem. What are the constraints? The constraints are the following. All the numbers are less than 999, so pretty much doesn't change a lot for us, only we know that there won't be any big numbers given. And what should we expect? So they give us some mathematical expressions. I will not read them, just for our test cases. Okay, so we can, if we build a solution, we can just copy and paste it and see if our program works correctly. And I trust that they've already tested it, and this thing really evaluates to this output. I can't compute it in my head. It's too complicated. So let's go to the terminal and let's remind ourselves how BC works. If we just type BC and it's already installed in our system, you might install it. If you don't have it already installed, then it's a really simple tool. You can just type, for example, 3 plus 2, and it should give you an answer. Let's try with this one. If we copy and paste it, it gives us answer 17, but they wanted the answer to be rounded up to 3 decimal places, and you can set the scale in BC using simply scale command. Scale is equal to 3 this time, and after semicolon our expression, and now we are getting 17.928. Oh, it's a little bit off, but that's just the thing with floating point numbers, that they can't be precise. Okay, but I think that we can use BC, and there is no way to do it directly in Bash, and it should be okay. To quit it, we have to type quit. So let's maybe try it first here in a script. We will read the mathematical expression. Let's call our expression. We are reading it from the user, so we are using command called read. That's our input, read expression, and we are creating a variable called expression. And now we can send this expression to BC using pipes. We have to first send it to the output with echo, and then instead of displaying it directly to the screen, we will be using a pipe in order to capture this output and provide it as input to BC. So what can we do? We are just displaying the expression that we got from our user and putting it back to BC. And let's do it like this. Let's try our script. I think I still have this expression in my clipboard. So I can simply try it, and we've got 17. Perfect. Now we can extend our script with this scale command. Scale equals to 3, and it should now be correct. Let's paste it once again. Perfect. So that's pretty much it. We've needed a way to get input from the user using grid. We need a way to display stuff or to send them to send some things from our programs to an output. In this case, we are using echo. And then with pipe, we are delegating this whole operation instead of doing it directly ourselves in Bash to this tool called BC. Okay, so let us type the solution again. Now here on the website, we are reading the expression, and now we want to echo first scale. We set scale to 3, and now we are reading our expression with the $sign and piping it to BC. Let's run the code and see what happens, if it's correct. And this test case failed. Why? That's this thing with floating point numbers. Okay, let us see. They really want us to have it precisely the way they put it here. They are checking it character by character. So we have to do it another way. So let us first use a simple another flag here with BC -L. Then we will get the full result, and we can see what can we do with it. Let's run the code again. It will be once again not correct, but we are getting closer to the correct answer, because right now we have the full result, and the full result looks like this. There's 17.9285, and they want us to have 929. Okay, so what the scale did, probably, that's my guess, it simply didn't display those numbers. They were left behind, but there is no rounding, and we wanted to round 5 to 9. If this 5 goes to this 8, and 8 becomes 9 when we do the rounding. Okay, so we have to use another tool. We are close to the correct answer, but not yet. So maybe we are learning new things. We can use printf. It's another command that we can use to display things on the screen. But the difference between printf and echo is, one of the differences, that here we can specify the floating point precision. And that's exactly what we want to do. And we do it like this. There's %.3f. So the floating point precision should be 3 decimal places. And now we want to first evaluate all this expression on the right. We can do it like this. Then it's a one-liner, or we can save this result of this operation in a variable. Let's first do it like this, and then we can think about how to make it more readable. And right now it's passing the test cases. So let's maybe split it to 2 lines. We'll have the result, and result is equal to, and we can even put the double quotes to make it even more perfect. And the double quotes here as well. Okay. Let's run it again to make sure that nothing changed. We just wrote it a little bit different. I think this way is more readable. If the lines are getting too long, no one can understand it. And if you are dividing it to separate tasks on separate lines, I think it's much easier to follow. Okay, so what did we do here? We read an expression, that's our input. Then we got the result using BC with this -L flag. It's getting the complete result from the BC. No rounding up, no cutting of decimal places. And then we used printf to specify that we want to see only 3 decimal places. And now we can submit the code to see that all the test cases are indeed passing.